You've heard of the FIRE movement, F-I-R-E, Financial Independence, Retire Early. This video shows 3 simple steps, how to plan early retirement and live financially free. Hello and welcome back to another video with Mind Money Masters. I'm Cameron, your host today, as we dive into the world of early retirement. More specifically, retiring early while being completely financially independent. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to see any new videos that are created. Also, if you feel comfortable, please add a comment in the feed what you liked and what I could talk more about. It really helps me to hear what you're interested in hearing. Also, as a point of disclosure, all my opinions are solely mine, not any form of professional financial advice, as I am not a licensed financial advisor or a licensed tax advisor. Please work with your professional advisor before making any investing decisions. So I found this quote by George Foreman. The question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income. You know, this is really the most important question, right? It's not so much what age, because you can be at any age to retire, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So some people differ as far as how much you need in order to quote unquote retire. Some say it's 5 million, some say it's 10 million. Is there a number specific? I can tell you that there is a number, and it may actually be less than you think. So in this video, we're going to discuss 3 aspects of how to retire early, how each are important, and of course, I will give you my final take at the end of the video, so stay connected. Hey, let's get started. So really there are 3 main points / steps to consider to retire early. We're going to go through all 3 of them actually on this slide. The first is really the most important. So if you want to retire early, you got to take inventory of your finances. You need to create a budget. Know your total expenses. Everything that goes out and everything that comes in. Without this knowledge, you really are planning to fail in this part of the process. This is why this is number 1. It is most important that there are also, the advisors would also say that you need about 30 years of annual income saved before thinking about retirement. This is also dependent on your lifestyle. Are you planning on just doing nothing and being a beach bum when you retire? Are you planning on increasing spending when you retire? I mean, what is the point of retiring if you can't enjoy that retirement, right? Odds are that you will spend more in retirement if you retire early. Health insurance also needs to be accounted for in your expenses. Since most people use healthcare provided by their employer, they don't think about the actual cost after you retire early. So lastly, the step that you want to consider last in this is inflation cost. The average rate of inflation is about 3%. So if your underlying assets aren't earning an after-tax appreciation of at least 3%, you're not actually growing your investment. Step 2 is all about making lifestyle changes and investing more in your assets. That's yourself as an asset and your investment assets. Once you have your budget and your expenses mapped out, you can better understand the amount of money per month that you actually need to live off of. Now, keep in mind that these steps all build upon each other. It's not like you finish one and then you're done with that one and you can go to step 2 and you're done with that one and you're in step 3. You're going to be able to use all of these steps at the same time. Step 1, to build the budget, understand expenses is key and will continue to be still important even after you retire early. Step 2 is about investing in yourself and your assets. You must invest in personal knowledge and in tangible assets associated with the investing process. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here. What I mean by this is to understand how your investments work, understand risk management, and build in all asset classes. There are 4 asset classes. We've talked about this on a couple other videos. Those are paper assets, real estate, commodities, and your own personal business. I would personally hold more to the Rich Dad entrepreneurial asset classes versus the standard asset classes that you might think you'd receive from a financial advisor. Most financial advisors might say stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and real estate. That's not really what I would hold to. I would hold more towards having a business as one of your assets, and most financial advisors would not consider building a business as one of the asset classes. But I believe it's incredibly important to become financially free, and in order to retire early, you have to have a business. Step 3, increase your cash flow from your assets. Know the asset classes and how to build passive income. This is the scaling process. This is the growth and optimization process. You will need to work in all 4 of the asset classes here. Have an investment portfolio that's focused obviously on risk management. Use trading options, stock options for protection on your stocks. Learn about taxable and tax-deferred bonds. Study on cryptocurrency. Build a portfolio of precious metals and natural resources. Learn real estate investing strategies, and build a business. The wealthy have 7 streams of income. 7 streams of income. How many do you have? If you lost your job today, how on earth would you pay your bills? Stage 3 is achieving cash flow from little time cost, or time suck, as I like to call it. You see, when you're working, you trade the time for money. You get a little paycheck at the end of the week. Maybe it's a big paycheck, but you trade a little bit or a lot of your time for a little bit of paycheck. Stage 3 is not about that. It's actually changing that whole entire perspective. So you're no longer just working and trading in that time for that little paycheck. You are actually having money work for you via investing. Now, if you had the option to go to a beach or a tropical vacation versus going into the office and grind out a 10-hour day, I would imagine you would pick the vacation. So you're not really doing something that you love. I don't care even if you say that you love your job. Would you rather be on vacation than going into the office? Some people might say yes, they'd rather go on be in the office. I personally am not that kind of person. And it doesn't have to be a beach. It doesn't have to be a beach vacation. It can be really any time that is just your own. You're no longer having to trade that precious moments of time at an office with potentially people that you may not even really care about for just that constant little paycheck that you get. You know, this is what retiring early can do for you. Instead of trading a 50-hour work week for one paycheck, one stream of income, you trade maybe 10 hours per week instead of 10 hours per day for 7 streams of income. This is possible. You have to know how to scale, outsource, and automate. So, as you can see, we are talking about here is more of an active retirement versus a traditional retirement, or a passive retirement. Most people have been sold this lie, really, but most people believe that if they work for 50 to 60 years, they can live their twilight years in comfort. I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait 50 or 60 years before I live my comfortable years. Unfortunately, you know, the other thing too is that this traditional retirement is just not the case. So, you know, the reason that this is not really traditional, the traditional retirement is not really the case, is because the system is broken. The system is what teaches us to go to school, get a job, save your money in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and then after 50 years, you can use what you have saved up for the next 20. You start at 18, work for 50 years, maybe you live to 88. This system doesn't talk about multiple streams of income, passive income, cash flow, asset classes. It doesn't talk about how to build true wealth. How many people lost their entire retirement portfolio in the 2008-2009 crash? That was only 12 years ago. Most people were so burnt by the market they didn't get back in, or when they did get back in, they had already missed the run-up, so they didn't actually gain and get anything back. So they started from a lower place, and the value hasn't increased that much since the time they got back in. So most people are still struggling with this investment concept. The 7 streams of income are investment income, dividends, stocks owned, paycheck income, rental income from real estate, royalty income, which are payments of royalties from something written, created, or invented, capital gains from selling various assets, profits from businesses that they own, and interest income. Potentially like lending money to do other activities. So that's another way that you can get consistent cash flow and consistent income. These are what you need in order to actually work towards financial freedom. You need to have consistent income coming in every month. The crazy thing about this is if you know how to scale or automate or even outsource, you can have all of these and work as little as 2 hours a day. This is your choice how much you want to put into this. Now, you don't want to work too much because then you become an employee of your own business. But you can build this with a fair amount of short time. Now, if you don't take the necessary steps at the beginning in the build phase, it will take longer. But you can do this with a little amount of trading time. But once you have the investment strategies created, the rental properties owned, the books written, the business interests built, you can sit back and do maintenance and set your own hours. Maybe even 1 hour a week. Maybe you just focus on checking in with your general aid. And that's it. And you do whatever you want. This is what I mean by retiring early and being financially independent. This is active retirement when your monthly cash flow exceeds your expenses and you don't have to do much to make sure that it does. In essence, you don't have to go into an office. This is the active retirement. If you got $10,000 in expenses and you're making $20,000 a month from your various streams of income, that means you're netting $10,000 a month to do literally whatever you want with. So, in closing, when you have your own assets that pay and cover all of your liabilities and you have profit over that, you can retire early and be completely financially independent. That's what it means to retire early, or financial independence, retire early. This FIRE movement that you hear a little bit about. Thank you so much for listening. I do have some recommended books in the description of this video. Plus, if you do not know how to start your own business, I would be happy to help you. There is a short video link on how to get started that's in the description. It's with an online business, and it's the same business model that I started with and built multiple streams of income. So I would check that out. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications so you can see any new videos that I create. Cheers to living financially free and being your own boss. Thanks so much for watching.